HOD creatives, welcome to another exciting tutorial on how to make those beautiful turban gele you're seeing right there on your screen. If this is something you know you will love to learn, you need to keep watching. If this is your first time of coming across my video, please do what to hit the subscribe button, and let's get right into the class. Welcome back. So as you all know, we are going to be making that beautiful turban gele you just saw on your screen, and these are the materials we are going to be using. I'm going to be using raw silk for this tutorial. So you can use raw silk, you can use doll face, you can use shining face, you can use a non-stretchy fabric, you can use a stretchy fabric. If you are using a non-stretchy fabric, you just add either elastic or rope at the back of your turban base. Okay, but even I'm using stretchy material, I'm still adding a rope to my turban base just for more firmness while wearing it. So, and the yardage you need for this design is 1.5 inches. That is if you know how to manage fabric very well. 1.5 inches should be enough. But if you don't know how to manage fabric very well, just go ahead and buy 2 yards of fabric. But you might not be able to use everything, but it should just remain a little, not up to half yard. So, but if you can manage very well, just like as I did here, you can buy 1.5 inches, because I use 1.5 inches for this tutorial. So, and this is my turban base, which is made already. You can go ahead and make yours. This is a V-shaped turban base. If you come across this video and you do not know how to make a turban base, a V-shaped turban base, I'm going to be dropping a link in the description box. Just check it out and you get to learn how to make a turban, a V-shaped turban base. So this is a V-shaped turban base that we're going to be using for this design. So we are not going to go into how to make this, because there's already a video how to make this. So I'm going to be linking it in the description box. Just go to the description box, click on the link there, and you go ahead and watch how to make your own turban base. That's if it's V shape you are using. But if you want to use round shape, it's fine. Any shape you want for your base is perfectly okay for this design. So that's for the base. Now the material we need, you need your fabric. It can be raw silk, it can be whatever fabric you need. You can even use Ankara to make this. You can use Ashoke also to make this design. And you'll be needing our wadding. So the wadding I'm using here is the very light one. That's the smallest one, the lightest one. That is what I am using here. So that is, if you are using Ashoke, you don't need this. If you are using Ashoke, you don't need this. But if you are using fabric, you need this just to give it more volume and more weight, so that you'll be able to pleat it properly. Okay, so with that being said, let's get right into the measurements. Okay, if you buy your material and you're about to cut, please always cut the biggest part first before cutting the smaller part. That is, you first cut out the crown before you cut out your base. Take note of that. Cut your crown first before you cut your base. Okay, so let's get to the measurement. So for the crown on it, the measurement I have here is 48 inches, 48 inches by 48 inches by 21 inches. 48 inches by 21 inches. That is the length I have here. So the stretchy part is the 48 inches. Take note of that. The stretchy parts, that's if you are using a stretchy material. But if you are not using a stretchy material, any part is fine. But if you are using a stretchy material, make sure it's the stretchy part that is the length, which is 48 inches. And the other part that is not stretchy can be your width, which is 21 inches. And I go ahead and I cut out 2 of it. So you need 2 of this measurement. 2. So you cut out 2. And when you're done cutting out these 2, you go to you cut out your wadding. So the measurement I have here for the wadding is 45 inches by 10 inches. I have 45 inches by 10 inches for the length and width of the wadding. So, and our wadding has 2 parts, the shining part and the part that is not shining. So we are going to be gumming it to the fabric. So let me show you how you're going to do that. So you just pick one part of your fabric and you pick one part of the, so the shining part, the part that is shining is going to be facing down, and the part that is not shining will be up. So you just place it this way, and you just put it down like so, and you iron it down. You iron it down. So when you're done, you just flip this on it. You flip this on it like so, and this is going to be covering it up. That's half of it. So you are basically cutting half of the measurement of the fabric for your wadding. I don't know if I'm making sense. Half of the wadding. That's, this fabric is 21 inches, and we cut out 10 inches for the wadding. So we cut half of the fabric. Yeah. Okay. So the remaining 1 inch, because we cut 10 inches for the wadding, is going to be for the sewing allowance that is going to be here, because you don't need to sew on your wadding when sewing. So first, I'm going to take this to the ironing table, and I'm going to iron this down. And I will expect you to do the same thing. Whatever you do here, you do on the second piece. So I've gone ahead to iron, and this is what we have. Before you fix your wadding, first fold your fabric into two and iron it down, so you know that you are ironing half of it. You are putting your stay on half of it. So just go ahead, first iron your fabric down this way, then you know that half of it this way is where you are fixing your wadding. So I've gone ahead to fix mine. As you can see, this is how it's looking, and one side I left 3 inches. I left 3 inches without gumming this part. So this 3 inches, I'm not gumming it. I didn't gum it with wadding, because this is going to be the part where we are going to close at the back. So this other one is just half inches here to turn it. This is also half inches here to turn it. So the same thing with the other part. Now you see this part that is half inches. This part that that is 3 inches. This other side too should be on the same part. Should be facing opposite, like so. You can see. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. They should be facing this way. That's, you see, this wadding is this side. The wadding is this side of this my fabric, and the 3 inches is facing this way, or your half inches should be facing each other. The half inches are at the top, so you can see they are facing, so that you don't I just want you to take note of this, so that you don't finish gumming your wadding, and then you notice that this part is this side, this part is this side. So take note of this. They have to be opposite each other, like so. They have to be opposite each other, not like this. They have to be like this. You get it? Opposites, like. So I hope you understand what I mean. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take it to my sewing machine. I'll just fold it to the wrong side like this. So you will sew from this part that has half inches. This is the part that has half inches. This half inches part, you start your sewing from here. So you just pin, please pin. You know it's stretchy material. Even if it's not stretchy material, pin, so that by the time you finish sewing, you don't end up having a slant at the down. So just pin. So I'm going to pin all the way down. So, and I'll sew like this, all the way down. That's on the half inches I left, all the way down, like so. And I'll come out from this. I'm going to bring everything out from this part that has the 3 inches left, the part that we did not put our wadding. I'm going to come out from here. So that means you are closing this part here all the way down, and this part is going to, you are leaving it open. So whatever you do here, you repeat it on the second piece. I'll go ahead and sew now, and I'll be back. So I've gone ahead to sew. I sew it all the way around, and I just the way I explained earlier, and I bring it out from this part that has 3 inches left, that we left 3 inches. So this is what we have. So when I turn it out to the right side and I ironed it. So the next thing we are going to do now is to form our pleats. So you are just going to mark from that opening part, that's the part that is open, you will mark 14 inches. You mark 14 inches. So you are going to be stopping at this 14 inches. So you are going to be pleating all the way to this 14 inches. And you get your needle and thread ready to tack. So I'm going to form like 5 pleats. This is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. So if you form it and it's not okay, please lose it and redo it. And if you cannot form 5, if it's 4 you can form, please go ahead and form your 4 pleats. And if you can form more than that, it's also good. So you just tack it. You will not tack it too tight, not too tight, a little loose. So you can see you don't have to make it too tight. Then you knot your tacking. I'm going to cut this. So whatever we are doing here, we are repeating it on the second piece. So you pleat again, continue with your pleat. Remember, we are making 5 pleats. Sorry, you can see I'm redoing it because I'm not getting what I want. So you just lose it, go back and redo it again. You understand? You don't have to get it on your first try. So I have my 5 pleats here. So I'll just tack again. Lose it up, don't allow it to be too tight. So I'll just complete this. This is the length we are coming to, 14 inches. So you tack. Oops. So this is what we have, and whatever you do, you repeat on the second piece. Now remember that this part, this upper part is where we put our stay. That's this up is where we put our stay, and this back is the lining. So pleat on the part you gum your stay. You know, we have this part and this part and the back part. That's the front and the back. So the front is where the stay is, and that is where you should pleat. Don't go and pleat this part that does not have stay. You can see this back does not have stay, and this part has the stay on it. So take note of this also. Okay, so the next thing is to sew. When you are done with the both pleats, so this is our base on the mannequin. Let me see, I hope you can see that. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is to tack it to the base. So one side is coming this way and the other side is coming this way. So let's start with this side. Let me just open it up. So you place it on your mannequin this way. That's on the last pleat of your base. So you bring it this part where your handle is, so you just bring it to that part, and you're going to be leaving out that 3 inches. So here is the 3 inches. So from that 3 inches you place it on this part where your handle, that's if you had handle to your base. So you just place it this way and you tack it down. So I'm going to be tacking like 2. I'm going to be tacking 2 of it down. So you can see, I'll just secure my thread here. So I'll go ahead and I will tack. You can see the way I'm going. I'll tack here, and I'll also tack this middle here. So this is the middle of the cap. This is the middle of the cap. So I'm just going to tack it, and I'll stop right at the middle of the cap here. So it doesn't matter if the 14 inches you mark did not get to your middle of your cap. It doesn't matter, just leave the pleats there, but just make sure you stop at the middle of the cap here. So I'm going to tack here, 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 and then here. Maybe like 3 places, here, here, and here. I'm going to tack 3 places, and I'll tack it down. I'll repeat the same thing for the other one. I'm also going to be tacking just the way I explained from the other side. I'll tack, tack, and tack here. So let me go ahead and tack, and I'll be right back. So when you're done tacking, this is what you should have. So I'm done tacking the 2 sides, and this is what it looks like. So you can see that the closed edge, they are facing each other. This is what I was trying to explain earlier. Okay, so the next thing, before we go ahead, let's finish up the back. So this is how the back is looking. So the next thing you're going to do is to bring this part to this. Let me trim all this excess. Okay, so you bring this to this like so, and you tack it down. You tack it down. So just tack. Okay, so when you're done tacking, secure your thread. So when you're done tacking and securing the thread, you get a piece, another piece. So you're not tacking it to the cap at the back, please. This is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to finish it at the back. So you get another piece. So this piece here, I have 5. I actually measure 6 inches length by 5 inches width. So I fold it into 2, and I sew ½ inches here and ½ inches here. So when I was done sewing, I have 5½ by 2 inches width. So I just bring it out. So you just use it to cover this part. You just cover it to the back and use your hot glue to glue it down. You can use your hot glue, or you use your hand needle and just glue it down, or you sew it down. So I'm just going to pin because I'm going to use my hot glue. So this is what you should have at the back. Can you see? So this is what you should have at the back of your turban. So when you are done with this, then we'll go back to the front. So the next thing we are going to do now is to make our knots. So I don't know, I'm going to do this so you can see it properly. You pleats, 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 pleats. You also pleats. Then you bring it together and you cross it this way. You cross it. So when you're done crossing, you just bring this in like so. So I'm trying to arrange my pleats. So you bring it in, so you have something like this, one at the back and one at the front. Can you see? So you take the one at the front, you take it. So when you're done with your knots, you take this, the front one, you take it to the back like so, then the other one comes to the side like this, like this. So you have something like this. So the next thing we are going to do now is to come to the down parts here. That's this down part. You make your pleats. You make your pleats. Then when you're done with the pleats, you start rolling it. You start rolling it. You'll be rolling it as if you're rolling. Yoruba will say Oshuka. If you're a Yoruba person, you understand what I mean. So you keep rolling it this way, just the way I'm rolling it. And while rolling it, you make it tight. So can you see? Okay, so you just keep going this way, so till you get to this parts. So when you get to this middle, you tack down. So I'm not going to tack, I'm just going to pin it down. But when you get this part, you tack it down. So I'll pin. Let's assume I'm tacking. So I'm just going to pin it down. So this is one part. So you go to the other side. You come to this other side again. You pick the edge. You pleat. So I'm just going to pleat it, and then I'll also roll it just the way I roll the other side. So you keep pleating and you keep rolling. Like I said, you make it tight. So this is, you put it by the side of the other one. Then you tack again. So I'm just going to pin. I'm going to tack it off camera because you need to tack it very careful and you don't need to rush while tacking it. You tack it very carefully. So this is what we have. So you make sure your two do we call it rows are the same size. You make sure one is not bigger than the other one. So when you're done with all your tacking, you tack the two together like this. You also tack them together. So you tack them together. Just give them like 2 or 3 stitch. Tack them together. So this is what we have. This is what your work should look like at the end of the day. So as you can see, we have come to the end of this training. So if you want us to make this design in with Ashoke, if you want us to recreate this style with Ashoke, let me know in the comment section. If I get 10 comments, then I will recreate it with Ashoke. But if you think you understand it this way and you can apply it also with Ashoke, then it's fine. So let me know in the comment section if you want me to recreate it with Ashoke fabric. So guys, I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.